Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Rest Hold Podcast, episode 68, brought to you by me, Tanner Fred. Unfortunately, co-host Zach Foreman was feeling under the weather this week, could not make it out, so I will be taking over the solo duties for this episode. Gonna keep it pretty short once again. Again, kind of hard to bounce ideas off myself, so kind of just gonna be mostly recapping what happened to NXT, Halloween Havoc, talking a little bit about Raw and SmackDown stuff, but probably going to keep it short, 10 to 15 minutes. If you're new and like weekly wrestling content, please like and subscribe down below. It really does help out the channel a lot. So let's jump into the wrestling. So to start with SmackDown, the only real major points that happened was there's a nice little Bray promo, kind of keeping up the intrigue of what's going on with him, whether he's addressing us, the audience, someone else in the locker room, or the masked person. Whether it's Bray and that person are going to be separate identities, we don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on with that, and a lot of different routes they could take with that character. So just something to keep us interested. I think once Crown Jewel ends, we'll get a lot more information about really what that's going to look like. So something to keep an eye out on. Maybe his first feud will be after Crown Jewel, something like that. But I think there's a lot going on with the main event especially to throw him into anything. So we'll see where that goes. Logan Paul made an appearance to close out the show. The Bloodline jumped Sheamus earlier in the night. And then Logan Paul came out, made an appearance, was talking about, he had a really good quote, actually. It was, no one expects me to walk into the ring with the GOAT and win. But what if I do? And that's really what this feud is all about. And it's very similar to, has a similar tone to the Cena feud, where Cena's like, I'm a little past my prime, but it only takes 3 seconds. And that's kind of a similar direction they're going with the Logan Paul feud, where it's, I know I'm new to this, I know I'm this, but what if I win? What happens? Like, there's no pressure on Logan Paul, it's all on Roman. It's what if I win? I really don't think he will, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out on. Definitely makes the audience a little more unsure if Roman will win, which is always a good thing. But that was really it for SmackDown. SmackDown it was good this week. It was short, but it was good. Raw this week, the OC doing a lot of good stuff. I think Carl Anderson and Finn had a match that's good. Omos and Braun Strowman came face to face. They're going to have a match at Crown Jewel. That should be a really good, hard-hitting, big guy match. So something to look forward to for that. Looks like Ali and Seth are probably going to have a match at Crown Jewel for the United States title. I don't think Ali will win this, but I think he has a better chance than most people are going to give him. So that will be a really good match. What else happened on Raw? Wasn't too much on Raw, really. Pretty standard Raw. Nothing crazy. Nothing super, super exciting. So let's just jump right into Halloween Havoc. I'm not going to, waste time just trying to find things to talk about today. So Halloween Havoc, NXT's October Premium Live event, was actually really, really good. If you haven't got a chance to watch it, definitely go back and do so. Really, really good event. First match opened up with the North American Championship ladder match. And these always deliver. North American Championship has definitely become like the IC Championship of old, where it's really like the working man's title. And once again, these 5 guys showed out. Von Wagner, Wesley, Carmelo Hayes, Oro Mensah, and Nathan Frazier. Wesley ended up winning. Fantastic for him. He got dealt a really crappy hand when all that stuff happened with MSK. So to see him, really find himself as a singles competitor and, get his first singles title in WWE is really great. We'll see what he does with that title. There's a lot of interesting feuds for him to have. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Second match of the night, Grayson Waller and Apollo Crews in a casket match. This was one of the weaker matches on the card, which is a shame. But it was just a little sloppy. It was a little too on the nose sometimes. So, I don't know. It just seemed like this was more of like a bit than like an actual match. So, this is definitely... I understand them bringing... I love that they brought back a casket match. I don't understand why they needed a casket match for this feud. Nothing in this feud felt like it was going the direction of a casket match. But that being said, nice to have casket matches back. Hopefully they use them more in the future for the correct feuds. But yeah, this is a shame because these are two really talented guys that I expected a lot more from. And, maybe not their fault. But then we had the better of the two women's matches on the card. The Weapons Wild match between Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. It definitely seems like Roxanne is being primed to become the next NXT Women's Champion, especially with her win here against Cora Jade. So this is a good match. These are definitely going to be this is definitely the new four horsewomen is kind of these two. I know it's just two of them, not four, obviously. But this is kind of like that. I think that next generation's going to come up and be really, really good. They're both super young, and they're getting a lot of experience in NXT right now. So we'll see what happens with that moving forward. But Perez definitely seems like she's going to be the one to take the belt off Mandy. Spoiler alert, Mandy won. So that will probably be at either the Rumble PLE for NXT or the Mania one. I think they should do the Mania one. That would make more sense. But we'll see what happens with that. Next match, ambulance match between Julius Creed and Damon Kemp. Damon Kemp's good, athletic guy, wrestling background. He's good, but he's not as good as Julius Creed is right now. Julius Creed is a legitimate prospect to be a superstar. This guy has everything. He's very much he reminds me a lot of Kurt Angle. I know not just because they have the wrestling background, but the aggressiveness they wrestle with and all that kind of stuff is very similar to Kurt Angle. The way he moves around the ring is very similar to Kurt Angle. I don't know what's going to happen when they eventually. I mean, if they ever break up the Creeds, or when is more likely. But look for Julius to be a superstar, a legitimate superstar. But he won, saved Brutus's career. So, yeah. Second women's match of the night, the NXT Women's Championship, Alba Fire, Mandy Rose. This was a weird one because earlier in the night they did they lured Alba into a haunted house, but Alba got the better of them and still lost, which is kind of weird. But the typical toxic attraction shenanigans, having Gigi and JC pull the ref out, Mandy getting the win, continuing the reign. Okay match, not the best we've seen. Again, they're having a really hard time establishing anyone as a legitimate threat to Mandy's title. And I think Roxanne is really the only one at this time that has a legitimate shot. Unless they bring someone down. I don't know who, but unless they bring someone down, I really don't know what they're going to do. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Excuse me. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the next feud going forward for her. But yeah, it was okay. It was okay. And then the triple threat, the NXT Championship match, Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, and JD McDonough. This was one of the best NXT main events. Definitely is Instant 2.0, maybe in black and gold. This was insane. This is a sick match between three really talented guys. It was a huge, time to, raise the bar for Breaker. You got to meet, we know that these two guys can do, you got to meet them there, and he did. And not only that he can hang, but he's just as good. So, this was a huge make-or-break match for him, and he showed up. All three of these guys, fantastic match. If you don't have time to watch the full pay-per-view, watch this match for sure. Definitely watch this match. This was fantastic. We'll see what happens moving forwards with Braun Breaker and see who his next feud's with. Maybe it's with Ilya solo. We'll see what happens. But that was really it for this pay-per-view, or PLE. It was pretty good overall, probably 7.5. Some of the not as good matches brought it down a little bit, but the highs are super high. So definitely worth the watch. And then as far as NXT goes this week, I don't think anything super notable happened. Odyssey Jones back on TV, not wrestling or anything at the moment, but back on TV. And Ava Reina joining Schism. For those who don't know who that is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's daughter. So when I first saw this, I was like, I don't know if I love this. But after kind of hearing her promo about, like, Schism gave me an opportunity to be who I want to be, not who all these people are saying I have to be. It does make a lot of sense. If they do the right things with her, they can go really far. So we'll see what happens. You need to keep her protected as possible. Make her beat everyone and anyone. Don't throw her anybody important yet, but have her beat anyone and everyone in between. And then we'll see what happens moving forward for that. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up there, guys. Again, quick episode. Don't want to waste too much time. Moving into Crown Jewel. Next week we'll have our prediction episode for Crown Jewel. Look forward for that. Like and subscribe down below to get the notification for when that pops out. Comment. Let us know what you thought about Halloween Havoc. What you thought about the main event. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at @resthold_pod. Go ahead and follow us on Apple Music. We're on Spotify as well. If you'd like to listen to it on there instead of YouTube, go ahead and do that. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you very much for all the support, and we'll see you in the next one.